Welcome to the TED Ed Podcast, where we delve into the issues that shape our daily lives and drive our productivity. We confront topics that matter deeply to all of us, from healthcare and affirmative action to voting rights and monetary success and failure. We cover it all. And yes, we dive into the complex world of politics, exploring how our country has evolved from slavery to the 21st century. Our content is crafted with care and expertise, drawing from years of experience in these critical areas. We invite you to give the TED Ed podcast a listen. You won't be disappointed. Share your thoughts with friends and confidants, and don't forget to like, comment, and share our episodes. Your engagement helps us grow and reach more listeners. Are you passionate about these topics? Do you have unique insights to share? You could be one of our guest speakers. Drop us a line, send an email, or leave a comment. All requests will be considered. Join us on this journey of exploration and understanding. This is the TED Ed Podcast. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Well, good evening, my people. Another broadcast from TED Ed TV online. Welcome to the show. Well, as you all can see, it's another show without my partner here. So, last I heard from him, he's still without electricity there in the Tampa Bay area where Hurricane Milton came through and did some devastating damage to that place. Hopefully everything is going well with him. He did text me, and in the last show I did, he said, "Hey, man, I used my phone and went online and saw you guys." Well, I did the show, and I'm doing this one by myself. Anyway, prayers go up, and hopefully blessings will come down to him and his family. Hey, Ted, we're hopeful that you get everything back together and come back soon. I hope that we can do a big show on the hurricane and get us our viewers some firsthand experience at what happened down there. This is probably the first time that something like this came through and did that much damage, especially to the area where Ted lives in. He lives in Brandon, which is probably about 8 or 9, maybe 10 miles, maybe even further than that away from the city of Tampa. So it must have been one hell of a storm that came through there. And from what I'm seeing and hearing online is that it's going to be a while before those people even think about getting themselves halfway back together because of destruction that this monster of a storm had
Derek Turner or 3 others.
For that area. So we're praying for you, Mr. Harvey. We need you back here, brother. We want to do a whole show on this daggone thing. We want to know all the details about what the heck happened and how you felt, where you were at. Man, I know it had to be horrific, and that wind had to be pretty scary for people who were down in the area. And how you guys are going to make it through this, I have no idea. Only God knows. But we are wishing you well. And I'm looking forward, brother, to see your ugly face. Oh, man. I certainly miss you, man. So we come on back. So anyway, let's get on with what we got to talk about. I wrote down a few notes here as to what I wanted to say. And one of them was, ironically, was the disaster down there in Florida. Where does the people in the state of Florida do? Where they gonna go to now? I gotta believe that with that place being where it's at, that is anytime any bad weather comes through, or hurricane, tornadoes, or whatever, it just wreaks havoc on that state. How much disaster can one state stand? I don't know. I know that the people who are insuring folks down there, these homeowners, insurance companies, and stuff, they are getting out of that place. They're no longer insuring a lot of folks and stuff down there and down in Florida. And they're talking about not insuring people all along the coastline of the Gulf of Mexico because of the amount of hurricanes that come through there and have done destruction and everything and through those areas that it's not profitable for them to insure homeowners. And it's a shame that it has came to that, but I guess at some point you have to realize that insurance companies, their main goal for existence is profit, and profit drives what they do. And I know that there have been a lot of people down there who even now cannot afford their insurance premiums. When you're paying $10,000, $15,000 a year for a premium, which is more than your house note, and you're finding out now that they're still not going to insure you for the damage that's been done to your property, it's got to be a devastating thing. So again, we're sending prayers, and I hope that something can happen. And because I know the federal government is not going to pay for everything to rebuild your area, so a lot of that expenses is going to be borne upon the people who want to stay in Florida. Man, it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful state, man. They have beautiful scenery and landscape there, and being sitting there on the ocean and beautiful weather year round. And when there's no hurricanes coming through, man, it's a beautiful place to stay. So again, I wish you guys well down there. Next, got to talk about the election, man. 20 something days left before it's over with. There has got to be some anxiety going on in both camps. I know there's anxiety going in the Donald's camp, and there's a lot of anxiety going on in the Harris camp as to what's going to happen, and are they doing the right thing? Are they reaching out to the right people? Are they reaching out, and is their message getting across to the people who are going to be coming out to vote for them? I know from past experience that you're not going to get 100% of the people to come out and vote for you. Impossible. You're probably not going to get 80% of your folks and stuff out to vote for you. That's not going to happen. But if you can get that magic number of over 50, then you're going to do good. But as we have seen in the last 5 election cycles, that the Democratic candidates have won the popular vote. But you don't win if you don't win those battleground states. the ones who give you those electoral college votes. So I'm pretty sure that most of the campaigns and stuff know that. And that's why you're seeing the candidates now focusing on those battleground states. Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. Those are the basic states that are, quote unquote, according to the posters, that are going to determine that 271 votes that you needed for the electoral college. You get over 270, 271, you're going to win. No matter what the popular votes and stuff says, you're going to win. So these posters out there, they're agonizing. At least to me, they are, because man, I can not imagine someone every day waking up and the first thing that anyone in who was important in those campaigns, they are looking at those poll numbers. They are picking out the most popular polls that they think that can more accurately determine where they stand in these battleground states. And every time you turn around, one pollster say, "Well, Trump is winning that, though. He's probably got enough votes in those battleground states, so he's up by 1%, or he's up by 2." And then the next day, Harris, she's up by 1, she's up by 2, and that's exasperating, because one day you're up and one day you're down, according to some polling expert out there. But do they really know what the hell they're doing? Do they? Sometimes I don't think so. And what happens is, really, if they're wrong, the only thing they'll say, oops, oops. But those people who are out there putting forth a massive amount of effort to get their people to the polls, a massive amount of effort to bring in dollars to help fund their campaign, those people are dependent upon those numbers. And if they're not right, and the only thing that the posters have to say once November 5th passed, oops, I was wrong. That's the only recourse that they have. And the campaigns don't really come after them after the thing is over with. They just go off and lick their wounds and say, well, maybe next time. Well, people, we can't afford a next time. And everyone out there, and I've been in a lot of elections, and every time we have those national elections, man, they'll tell you this is the most important election of, of any time. Every time we have an election cycle, that's the most important. And they always find a reason for that to be the most important. But at this point in time, I truly believe that this is probably the most important election that is going to happen. You've got the entire world looking at this country. All of their eyes are zeroed in on this North American continent where the country of the U.S. sits. And each country that is looking at what's going on have different reasons for spotlighting what's going on in this country. You got Russia sitting over there. They have a reason, and they know what candidate that they want to win. You got China sitting there, who really, I don't believe, really cares and stuff who won, but they are looking at this country. You have India, you have all your European nations who belong to the UN. They're looking, and they have their reasons for looking, because what happens here is going to determine what goes on in their country. If the yellow-haired boy wins, I'm pretty sure you got those European nations are going to be probably not in desperate fear, but they are going to be upset, because they're looking at some crazy man who is going to determine the safety of their country and their people. You're looking at a country that's sitting over there fighting for their people's natural lives in Ukraine, because you have a dictator. Well, they're saying he's not a dictator, but he actually is. Putin is a dictator. He wants to come in and take over that territory, because guess what? It gets him closer to Europe. And the closer he gets to Europe, the more those European countries have fear that they need protection from him, because they have no idea if once he takes over Ukraine, that he is not going to say, hey, well, maybe I need to move over in some of these other countries. Because men like that love power. They never have enough. Putin, probably one of the richest men in the world, and he's the president of this country. He controls, from last I heard, over $200 billion in assets that belong to him, because he and his oligarchs have taken that country, and their criminal empire have amassed fortunes. So, but they still crave power. And like our vice president says, and there are people in this country who don't believe it, but that yellow-haired son of a gun will sell them out so fast. For the love of money, he will sell you out. And it's not something that someone has told me or Kamala has said in her rallies and stuff that I believe it. He's done it already. He had 4 years to amass whatever he needs. He brought his kids in there, and they went out and sold and bartered and gave away or whatever they could to get rich. His little daughter and her Jewish husband, they done amassed a fortune. They moved down to Florida with their daddy and their stepfather, and they've ripped this country off. Use this country as a piggy bank. And you have a lot of people who are sitting out there, and they are fighting and wondering how they're going to live every day, how inflation and stuff has taken over their lives. They're spending all of their income and stuff on items that they need for basic living. But these people are sitting out there and they don't care about what stuff costs because they got enough money. And if they don't have enough money, they know how to go out there and take it and use this country as a piggy bank. So this election is very important. Very, very, very important. All these folks in the middle class, even in the upper middle class, who are struggling out there to make ends meet, if you're thinking about voting for this guy, I have no idea what is on your mind. Maybe you have a plan as to how to take advantage of this gentleman or whoever you want to call him. I call him a gentleman. I want to give him some credit or whatever. Most people don't think he's a gentleman. Most people think he's a monster, and it could be right. They're going to vote for him. So if he does win, people, what do we as ordinary folks do? I don't know. But I can guarantee you this country that we live in, that we so love, will not be the same after the 4 years that he's in office. And he's planning on staying for a lot longer than that. And from what he did last time, he is not going to lose this next time. I can guarantee you that, because he is going to take this country and rape it for whatever he thinks will give him the power to stay in office. And the people over there in Russia can probably tell you, because that's what happened when they became a democracy. They overthrew a dictatorship over there not too far in the past. They overthrew a dictatorship and they started having elections, and they elected Vladimir Putin. Well, guess what, people? He's still in office. And those people in that country can tell you that it hasn't been fair elections at all. He has used his power to stay in power in that country. If you go into those borders and stuff with Russia and really go in there and talk with the people who are sitting there and watch them fight themselves for basic few staple items, they got a man who is sending them to a war, and he doesn't care if the people, their family members, come back home or not. They can get shot down, killed. He's going to grab up some more of them, throw them into the army, and take advantage of them. So if you think by any means that this won't happen here, wake up, people. Wake up. I'm voting for Kamala Harris. October 15th. And this is where I'm at in the state of Georgia. There's early voting starts. Well, October 15th, I and my wife, and we're going to tell our sons and our grandson, get your butt down there and start voting. First of all, I know that November 5th is election day, but I want to make sure my vote's going to count. And if I vote early, I can find out what these folks are going to do. I don't believe that they're going to take my vote and throw it away from where I live at In the past, they have not taken my vote and thrown it away, but it's always the first time. So I'm going down there on October the 15th, and I'm going to cast my ballot. I went online because they have a website out there where you can put in your information and find out if you are registered to vote. You people here in Georgia, you go online, easy to find out if you're registered to vote in your county. If you're not, you have time to figure out how you're going to register your votes. So do it. Do it early. If you can't do it the 15th, do it the 16th. They're going to have early voting all the way up until whatever. I think about 3 days before the election. I don't know when early voting ends. So if you do it early, you got time to make your vote count because your vote means a lot. And as some of us old folks who've been around for a long, 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 long time, we understand the power of voting because when we were younger, we couldn't vote. At least the people here who were in below the Nixon line couldn't. They did all kinds of stuff to stop people from voting. So it is something that is absolutely precious and is worth more than gold. Because if it wasn't, why would the folks who are in power and your state legislator decide that they were not going to count your vote? If they didn't think it was important or valuable, why would they fight to stop you from voting? To take away your right. It's got some value because if it didn't have any value, why in the hell would they go through the process of taking you off the ballot and not letting you vote or going out and doing whatever they can to say that you can't vote? You can't walk into that poll and cast your ballot. And trust me, they are out there. They are doing everything they can to not let your vote count. So it's important. And as I said in the beginning, this is crunch time for all these campaigns, both sides. I'm talking about Trump's side. I'm talking about Harris' side. This is crunch time, people. They are trying to do whatever they can to win. You got one side over here who understands that your vote should count. And you got another side over there saying, if you don't vote for me, it shouldn't count. So, what are you going to do? I keep getting these texts and who are you going to vote for? Who are you going to vote for? That's some polling people. They're the ones who send out those polls. They send texts to folks. Who are you going to vote for? And you respond to those things. I'm going to vote for this person. They throw that into the statistics. Guess what? I don't send them things back. I don't respond to those polls. And I guarantee you that there are a lot of people out there who do not respond to those text messages. Are these pollsters taking these things into account when they turn in those poll numbers as to where they are going up and where they are down? Well, statistically, if you look at it mathematically, why do you think those poll numbers keep going up and down, go back and forth? They're rocking back and forth. They keep rocking back and forth because they are not getting the data that they need to accurately determine who's going to win. Think about it, people. Think about it. Math is finite. Whatever that says, that's it. So how can they go back and forth? Because a lot of people out there are not answering these folks' text messages. They're not answering these emails because they're sick and tired of them sending out asking about what you're voting for. But I can understand why they're doing it because they make money off of this stuff. They get big money off of it, especially those popular polls, the Siena polls, Marquette polls, Wall Street polls. They make money off of that stuff because people pay them to send that data and stuff to them. I'm gonna give you a quick scenario and stuff here. When Harris first got the nomination, she hired somebody in her campaign that worked for Obama. Man's named David Plouffe. He was Obama's poster, his statistics man. When Obama was running for office, he'd wake up in the morning and the second person he would call is David Plouffe. What's going on, David? Because he knew this old boy had one hell of a database when it concerns voters out there in the wild, in every precinct in this country. He still owns and holds that data. He doesn't give it to anyone. So I'm pretty sure Kamala had to, she had to pay for this. It's very expensive. But I guarantee you, this old boy is accurate. I've watched him in action. I have went out and did the canvassing that determines how he dealt with his poll numbers. And I guarantee you, he could tell exactly to the minute what the heck was going on. So if Kamala's smart, she'd do like Barack did. Her wake up in the morning and her first or second phone, no later than the third, David, what's going on? So I would like to hear from him one day, somebody in the infinite wisdom in the news media in MSNBC or ABC or NBC or CBS or CNN would bring that little rascal on and ask him, what's going on? I tell you, I would believe him before I would believe any of these other polls that are going on around the country. So, anyway, we've talked enough about the election. People, get out there and vote. When your state has early voting or whatever you want to do, if you want mail-in ballots, get it done early. If you want whatever you want to do, get it done early. Check online, get your friends and pick them up and take them to the poll. Do what you have to do to get that lady in that White House and just move her up one step higher. Instead of saying VP, you can call her POTUS. You know what that is, don't you? POTUS. President of the United States. POTUS. Give her a chance. She deserves a chance. Most women are good at cleaning up. I'm sorry, Kamala. I didn't mean to say you are mayor or anything, but most women and stuff in the household, they're the ones that are responsible for keeping the house clean. So we got a lot of stuff that need to be cleaned up. So uh, bring it on, girlfriend. Bring it on. You got your hands full. I don't know if you understand where you at, but evidently you must have wanted because you fighting hard for it. And when she gets said, people, please don't leave her alone because she's gonna need all hands on deck. All hands on deck is all I can tell you. Now, one other thing about the election, I got to say this because I'm very upset when I saw it. Let me start out with this. Right now, the Harris campaign is sending surrogates all over the country, people who speak for her. Now, the Donald don't send anybody. All we got is him and Vance. They don't want to go out and speak, do anything like that at all. They don't want. But she has surrogates who go out and speak for her because they're saying that we don't know her. The ones who are saying that are probably not going to vote for her anyway. Right now, they're not going to vote for her. So the only thing that Harris's people can do is to ensure that their people can vote, that they can get them out to the polls and vote and not stay at home because it's easy to stay at home and keep putting it off. That's why I tell people I'm going to do this, but you all do. That's what it's easy to say. Well, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then you get up until November the 5th and you standing in a line that 5 hours. I don't want to stand in no line, stand there for 5 hours to vote. So if you don't want to do that, get out and early vote. Anyway, dear surrogate, she's sent all over the country. So far, our past president, 43, had not been out. He spoke at the convention, but you haven't seen him physically out on the campaign trail. Well, he was sent to Pennsylvania to do a rally in Pittsburgh. Oh boy, I came to the rally at Pittsburgh. And then you all can go on to YouTube or whatever, go to CABC and NBC. All of them have a copy of his speech. Go listen to it. I implore you to listen to it because the reason why I'm so upset and stuff right now because there was a gentleman who I think did one of the worst things in the world as a black man. He denigrated our president, our past president, about what he said when he was giving his speech. He shouldn't have said that. He shouldn't have said that. Well, where were you at, Roland? Are you out there getting people to come out there to the polls? Are you talking to some of these men out here who don't want a woman to be president? And for you to denigrate this man because of what he said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed, my brother. If you didn't have anything good to say about him, shut up. Don't say nothing. Because you don't know what effect what he said had to do. He wasn't talking about you. You know what's going on out there. You are not a dummy. Leave that man alone. However, he wanted to say what he had to say. He got a bully pulpit, a very, very, very powerful bully pulpit out there. And if he can't get but 2 or 3 more% more of those black men out there to feel embarrassed about the fact that they don't want a black woman to be in charge of this country, because that's what's going on out there. I know what's going on because I can hear it. Some of these men out there, I don't want that woman to be no president. Hey, brother, I'd rather have her than the alternative. But for you to do what you did, Roland, I don't have any, man, you done just lost you a viewer. And I'm hoping that the people out there who listen to this go listen to what Roland said. I watched Obama say what he had to say, and he was very sincere. The man was almost in tears. Our president was almost in tears. Evidently, you didn't look at what the heck was going on, and you didn't have any compassion for what this man was trying to do. He was speaking the truth. There are men out there who don't want to vote for her. All he was trying to do is to convince the 1 or 2% or maybe 3% of them, because he wasn't going to get all of them to change their mind. Not going to happen. And what I said earlier, you're not going to get 100%. You're not going to get 80%. You're going to get a certain percentage of people who are going to vote for you, and that's it. So if you can change that number by 1 or 2%, a couple thousand votes in any one of these battleground states, it's going to help you out. Because each one of these campaigns right now at this point, sir, are scratching for any bit of points that they can get. 0.2%, 0.1%. A couple thousand votes here or there, man, might win this election. I know Hillary understands that. She lost in 2016 by not a lot of votes between 2 or 3 states. What, 50, 60,000 votes in 3 states? Just a little small percentage of movement means a lot at this point, because they're saying the election is close, because you got people out there who don't care what this man got to say. They're going to vote for him. They are going to vote for him. I don't understand why, but they are. So don't let our people be the one that cause her not to win the election. Brothers, get out there. And, it's not going to bother you to get behind that curtain and pull that lever for that woman. Mm, mm, mm. Won't nobody know. Your friends won't know. Okay, do it. Get behind that curtain and push that button and get back out and say, no, I didn't vote for her. If that's what makes you feel better, if that makes you feel like you're a man, then do that. Okay? That's what I had to say about Mr. Martin. Okay. Our community for many, many years has been in trouble. we have so much negative stuff going on in our community. So much stuff going on. I have a gentleman that does work for me around my house. He's been doing him for about 4 or 5 years. And every time I get him, go down into the hood, pick him up. It's about 40-mile drive to bring him back to where I live. And the only thing he can talk about is who died. So and so and so and so got shot. Man, I woke up last night and there was gunfire going on. I don't hear that where I live at. That was we. I'm not gonna. This not funny. I'm not gonna make a joke and stuff out of it, but I'm just smiling because I don't have those kinds of uh, uh, fatigue going on. Some people might say, or anxiety and stuff happening that I have to wake up at night and hear gunfire, boom, 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 or hear the police sirens going off, wow, 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 because somebody then got killed. Every weekend in the hood, somebody's gonna die. My brother's gonna kill somebody. They're going to die. So what is that causing? There's a cause and effect for everything. Our children, our black children, whether men or girls, boys or girls, are being raised up in these battle zones. And they have gotten so desensitized to it that it's a norm for them. Gunfire. But he also told me something else that man, that was something I just couldn't fathom and stuff. But he thought that, well, he didn't think about it because he knew what was going on. We eh, we are robbing and stealing from our own people. It has gotten so bad that he tells me that in these apartment complexes that these people who are next door to an apartment where somebody is out there and they're getting up every morning and they got 2 or 3 jobs that they go to work. You got this one knucklehead who stays next door, who's probably on Section 8, and all he wants to do is rob you, steal from you. They get up, go to work. So they know they're going to work. Guess what they do? They're common walls inside these apartment complexes. The walls are common. They got some common walls in there. And what do they do with the common walls? They knock a hole in it. Break. They don't go to the front door. They don't go to the back door of the folks that they're gonna rob. They knock a hole in the wall, brothers. My people. And they go into these people's homes and they steal from them. They don't have no more than what they have, but they steal from them. They don't have nothing, people. They don't have nothing. Why are you wanting to break in these people's home and take what they got? Because whatever they got in their apartment, that they're gonna take it and sell it to one of their friends down the street. So they gonna put gym shoes on and walk down the street right in front of the people's house that the item has been stolen from. And it's okay. It's the norm. I don't understand people. I really don't. And I tell the guy, my maintenance guy that comes help me to work around my house, I said, Barry, I don't know what to tell you. I can walk out of my house and leave the door unlocked. I don't have to worry about nobody taking anything from me. But he does. He's afraid to leave his house to go out and work because somebody might knock a hole in the wall and break in his apartment. So he don't know what he's gonna see once he comes back home. Save us, people. Save us. When are we going to learn? When are we going to change our trajectory? Now, those are the same folks who are going to look out and they're not going to vote for my sister. And I know they have that in their mind because when I was doing canvassing and stuff in our neighborhood, because that's where they would always send me when I went out canvassing. They saw this big old tall black man, and I know it was on these white folks' mind when they would sitting there saying, "Well, Ed, you need we want you to take this area right here," because they get old white friends and stuff, or white folks who came and stuff. They wasn't gonna walk over there in the hood and do some canvassing and find out who's gonna vote over there. Didn't bother me. But them's my people. They're my people, and I understand. I understand, brothers. I understand my people. So I had a little system going on and say, hey, you go over there and I find the baddest son of a gun in the world walking down the streets. Hey, brother, come here, man. I start talking to her. Hey, man, who you planning on voting for? Man, I ain't voting for nobody. They can't do nothing for me. First thing I can, where you live? I live with my mama. I live with my grandmama. It's okay. Your mama on Section 8? Yeah. You want her to stay on Section 8? Yeah. Ain't anybody gonna take nothing for her. I said, yes, he is. That man sitting right over there said he gonna cut the funding for the program. So if she on Section 8, she got to be getting food stamp. And right now, they got people up there in the Congress. They're not gonna even fund the farm program. If you're telling, well, this is the farm pro, they're not funding the farm program. What they got to do with me? Wake up, brother. Where you think the SNAP program is at? In that farm bill. You lying. Hey man, go look it up. Google it. So unbeknown to them, because of their ignorance, They want to go out there and vote. But after I finish talking with them and everything, they usually change their mind. Because it didn't bother me. I love doing that. I was not afraid. The day that I become afraid to walk amongst my people, I don't care what they are, they could be the baddest gangsters in the world. They're my people. If they want to kill me, brother. I was raised up amongst them. I'm telling you. When I was a little boy, I was raised up amongst all of them. You can't have no fear when you're around monsters and animals. I hate to say that. But that's how they live. So anyway, we're gonna have to find a way that we can let our children grow up and not feel like they're in a war zone. Somebody needs to go into our community and clean it up, building by building by building. It's not going to be an easy job, but that's the only way it's going to happen. We got a plan, building by building. Clean it up. They're tearing it down. So what's wrong with cleaning it up? What's wrong with grabbing some funds from some multi-billionaire and taking the money and going into the hood and buying up those dilapidated buildings, building by building by building, and putting them folks to work, cleaning up their own mess. Because if you shine a light on the rats and the roaches, they're going to scatter. Understand what I'm talking about? Okay. Turn the light on it. They're going to run. Because most drug dealers and criminals and stuff like that, they got to stay in the dark. They got to stay in the shadow. So you turn the light on, clean the place up. Well, they don't like cleanliness. They like dirt. Clean it up. They're going to go away. They might come in there and steal your flower pot, but hey, you can have a flower pot, I'll put another one out there. Every time they take the flower pot, steal the flowers, and put some more flowers out there. Every time they steal them, I'll put some more out there. You get graffiti on the wall, paint it, they're going to put some more graffiti on the wall. Go back out there and paint it again. Every morning, that's my job. Hire somebody. Their job is to get the graffiti off the walls every morning. First thing you do, get the graffiti off the walls, paint it. Eventually, they'll stop. Because good always overrides evil. Thank you, folks, for listening to the show. Oh, where you at, Ted? I'm enjoying myself. We'll see you guys in a couple of days for our next show. Hopefully, Mr. Harvey will be back. If he's not, I'm going to be on here, my friends, because we got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. Got to get girlfriend over the hump here. Come on, Kamala. Get on out there, B.O. Get out there. Forget about what these high and mighty, ultra conservative, whatever Negroes that's sitting out there talking about you. Let that stuff roll off your back, just like oil and water. Get them. Don't even worry about it. You got my support. Do what you got to do. And all you other surrogates out there, go on, Jasmine. She knows what I'm talking about, old little Crockett. Get on out there, girlfriend. Do your thing. Keep on. keep on talking, open your mouth, telling these people what they're going on, and get these rallies going, and get these canvassing and stuff going in all these battleground states. Get these folks out here so they can vote. Get them out there. Get your people to the polls and vote. If we can do that, we're gonna win. I'm not worried about them ones who were sitting out there saying, "Well, I don't know who she is." What? Damn it, you don't want to vote for her anyway. Bye. So, see you guys later. Have a good evening. Enjoyed you.